CBS All Access, NYCC 2017, Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery is only just getting started, but they took to the stage at New York Comic Con to preview what's coming next for the series. The cast and crew of Star Trek Discovery were greeted by a packed-out audience at Madison Square Garden, and certainly didn't disappoint them. With plenty of mysteries to unravel over the course of the series, there was more than enough to tease out to fans in attendance. Speaking of fans in the audience, the first question from the crowd was from Michelle Yeoh. She came to thank the cast and fans, saying, "If you don't look after my baby girl Sinequa Martin Green, I'll come to kick your ass, and you know I can. But let's go back to the start. Here's everything we learned at the panel." First up, a teaser from episode 4, "The Butcher's Knife Cares Not for the Lamb's Cry," reveals that Burnham has been assigned to the Discovery with no rank. She also receives George's last will and testament. The clip also clarifies that Burnham will not be helping with the spore drive. She will instead be tasked with weaponizing the creature from EP3. Anthony Rapp mentions that Lieutenant Paul Stamets is based on it, talking about a TED Talk where a mycologist talked about mushrooms saving the universe. No, seriously, you can watch the real Paul Stamets here. Speaking of science, the science of Star Trek Discovery is more about the function of biology than anything else. The engine is organic. In preparation for the show, a think tank of 10 scientists was convened to serve as consultants. And these scientists would hold debates about everything from transportation to teleportation. As for Stamets' love interest, Wilson Cruz, Dr. Culber will appear in episode 4 with his space boo. Cruz notes that he is proud to be a part of Star Trek's first gay couple and proud that it doesn't matter in the show. Bryan Fuller's fingerprints are all over Discovery, especially in Sinequa Martin Green. He wanted to be sure that the Star Trek not only had a female lead, but a lead who was not a captain. It is familiar, yet not the same. There is a redemptive arc happening with Brun in this. She is currently at an emotional disadvantage. And even though she was raised on Vulcan, Burnham is 100% human. Meaning she has to work very hard to keep her emotions controlled. She's been doing this for quite some time now, and we will continue to see how she processes them in the wake of George's death. This does not mean that Michael is at a disadvantage. Her emotions have helped her carve out new paths to logic. It will be interesting to watch her continue her journey and finally find a place she can call home. When asked by the audience if would ever see Burnham in a relationship, Martin Green noted, "They're covering everything, with everyone." Insert blushing face here. Jason Isaacs took on the role of Captain Gabriel Orca because he was not like the other captains of the series. This is a captain who is at war. This is wartime and a time of uncertainty. They are finding their feet as a crew, says Isaacs. Also, aboard the ship and on the panel, is Doug Jones as Lieutenant Saru. Jones enjoys that he is originating a species, the Kelpians, because he does not have to get it right. Instead, is an organic process of discovery, where Jones can offer input and insight into the character's development. During the audience Q&A, Jones mentioned that he would love to visit Sarah's home. Star Trek Discovery is not only diverse on screen, but behind the scenes as well. From the start, one of the major goals of the show was to have women be a large part of the show's development. This includes the writer's room, which is split 50-50. Did you notice that the core of the first 2 episodes were females holding conversations, not about men? As an actor, being bilingual is a great skill set. But how many actors go into a role fluent in Klingon? Mary Kifo, who plays El-Rel, the Klingon battle deck commander, says that she works with a Klingon linguist and that her scripts arrive in English, but have a Klingon translation. All the Klingon actors try hard to understand what they are saying and not just say random words, Kifo says. Once they pass the language barrier and understand what they are saying, the Klingon actors make the connection as characters. It takes a village to speak Klingon, the panel notes. The importance of telling the Klingon story, and if you are looking forward to more Klingons, episode 4 is for you. Executive producer Alex Kurtzman notes, "When we conceived of the idea of having one being about the war with the Klingons, it was terribly important to all of us to make sure that we represented both sides of the war in a way that was understandable and relatable. And while the Klingons have been given specific treatment in various iterations in the past, we needed to know what it was like for them to go through this too. And to humanize them, for lack of a better word." Kurtzman goes on to comment on the shift in the look of the Klingons, saying, "The truth is that we wanted to shift everyone's perspective about what the Klingons are. Because they are so traditionally relegated to just being the bad guys. And that meant making visual changes too, while hopefully maintaining and retaining the original spirit of the original Klingons. It is terribly important for us to humanize them, to give story to their experience. to give an understanding to their culture, to give an understanding to why they want what they want. If we didn't do that and we made them a one-dimensional bad guy, we wouldn't be Star Trek. As the series progresses, Star Trek Discovery will reflect the current hot-button issues happening right here on Earth. This incarnation of the series has the luxury of time to explore emotions, the producers note. When commenting on the darkness of the series, the producers note, if we're successful, it'll be layered. Dark and light. The perk of serialized storytelling. Stay tuned for more Star Trek Discovery New York Comic Con coverage.